And now it's time to introduce our President's panel, ladies and gentlemen. This year, it is my privilege to invite Becky Powell, the Chief Executive Officer of Protravel International, a travel leaders company, to the stage to moderate the panel. Becky is one of our most respected luxury travel executives in the industry, having worked for more than 30 years in various aspects of travel operations and sales, including 9 years in leadership at Virtuoso. Becky is an industry innovator, a leader with unparalleled knowledge of the market, and a steadfast champion of travel advisor certification. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Becky Powell. Becky. Welcome, Becky.
Thank you, Charlie. Hello. Oh, thank you. Thank you again, Charlie. I feel so privileged to be here today representing the travel advisor community with this esteemed panelist of cruise line presidents. We thought we would start with something fun, and we asked our panelists, where were you 15 years ago to coincide with the 15th anniversary of Cruise360? Starting with myself, here I am in Kenya with a child I supported through AmericaShare. At that time, I was Director of Supplier Relations at AAA National, and never in a million years would I thought I'd be on this stage today, so thank you. Let's introduce our first panelist. Here, she's pictured when McGettigan Travel sold their business to Merritt's Travel Company. She grew up at McGettigan, where she started as a receptionist and then became a travel agent, yay, moving up the ranks to regional vice president and general manager. During Merritt's acquisition of McGettigan, she was appointed to lead the transition, and from there she was appointed president and CEO of Merritt's, the world's largest full-service corporate meeting and incentive travel company. She made history by becoming the first female president of the century-old privately held fourth-generation business. This role positioned her well for future opportunities with CLIA and Carnival Cruise Line, where she is also the first female president of the world's most popular cruise line. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Christine Duffy. Welcome, Christine. Thank you. Okay, let's go to our next panelist, is an active runner, and this is a photo of him running the Chicago Marathon 15 years ago. To this day, he stays active and enjoys running, although he has slightly less time now that he's the father of 2 twin baby boys. Please welcome the president, MSC Cruise USA, Roberto Fizarro. Roberto, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Okay, 15 years ago, our next panelist was working in marketing at Royal Caribbean. She remembers 2000 very well, as her team had just won its 3rd Super Bowl. Wonder who that was. She was loving her career that was in its 19th year at that time, and now it's been 34 years. This photo represents so much of what is great about our industry. She was on a personal vacation enjoying the freedom and beauty of the ocean, only on a smaller boat. It also reminded her that her whole life, her best experiences have been around or in the ocean. From the time she was 6 months old in Gloucester, Massachusetts, until the time of this photo to now, her fabulous career in the cruise industry, she is still enjoying the ocean. Please welcome the president and CEO of Celebrity Cruises, Lisa Lutoff-Perlo. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, next, 15 years ago, the next panelist was the president of Disney Cruise Line. As you can see here, he's joined some time with his family. Back then, he was part of creating a new way to experience the Disney brand through family-focused cruises. But now he's doing it again by helping to bring the exciting Virgin brand to sea travel with rebellious, luxe, adult by design experience for sailors. Today, he is CEO and president of Virgin Voyages. Please welcome Tom Mcalpin. Thank you, Tom. Thank you so much. Thank you. In 2004, our next panelist brought a small place in the Keys, which has been an amazing destination for his family. It is where he can best relax, enjoy the quality time with his family. The kids spent a lot of time there, and as they were growing up, they would say it was their happy place. His wife probably relaxes better there than any place else. And now the kids are in college, it's still a place where they go, although the most recent spring break, it was his son with 4 of his college friends and no adults were invited. He's not sure he likes this, but that's what's evolving. So please welcome the President, Norwegian Cruise Line, Andy Stewart. Thank you, Andy. Thank you. Okay, our last panelist. This photo was taken aboard a Disney ship. Hear a theme there? I think we had 2 people working at Disney at the same time. In the Bahamas, where our 6th panelist was with Disney Cruise Line. He is with his wife Sharon and their 3 children here. He says that throughout his career, his family has been his priority, and they try to travel together whenever possible. Those experiences and their support have meant the world to him. Never underestimate the support of family. Please welcome the President and CEO of Crystal Cruises, Tom Wahlberg. Thank you so much. Okay, well, I'm happy to say that none of you are using today your photo of 15 years ago in your marketing material, so we didn't bust any of you. But let's start off with just talking generally about how 2019 is shaping up for your company. So let's start here with Tom from Crystal.
Well, actually, 2019 had a bit of a rocky start as the whole government shutdown put some jitters into the market. But since then, it has picked up quite a bit, and actually, we're seeing 2 things. We're seeing the bookings further out to 2020 bookings and 2021 bookings doing extremely well. And we're seeing the within-year bookings starting to come now, but the trend is to book in a little closer than what we're used to see. The expedition product is off the charts for 2020. That is really booking well, and the river is booking quite well as well.
Great, good news. Andy.
Yeah. Good, well, good afternoon, everyone. We have to be a bit careful because we can only talk about what we said on our last earnings call, but we came into 2019 better booked than we've been in the history of the company.
That's great.
So thank you. That's down to the work of you guys, so we appreciate that. We also came in better booked for 2020 than we've ever been. So I echo, Tom's remarks that both the year that we're in and further out bookings are booking extremely well, and it's most markets as well. So and we're seeing particular strength across North American sourcing. So feeling cautiously optimistic.
Great. Tom, you have a little different story there.
A little bit different. Good afternoon, everyone. So 2019 is a very exciting year for us. As many of you know, we launched and we opened for bookings back in February. We're off to a great start. We had a lot of pent-up demand. We're seeing great volume of bookings and great rates. Earlier this year, the Scarlet Lady floated out, and I'm told that's a good thing in the cruise industry when the ship floats. And the rest of the year will be all about outfitting her and really focusing on our operations. So this is about execution. This is about operational readiness. It's also about filling our ship, and we need all of you to be spreading the word and creating that awareness for Virgin Voyages. So we'll be filling the ship not only with the right volume, but with the right rate. So thank you in advance for all of your support.
Great. Lisa. Celebrity.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Becky. It's a pleasure to be with all of you here today. CLIA 360, Cruise 360 is always a favorite event of the year, so welcome, everyone. I echo what everyone has already said. As we turn the year, I think we did report that we were turning the year in a better booked position than we ever had, thanks to everyone in this room. We owe you a sincere debt of gratitude for all you do to continue to support our brands and this industry, and even the brands that aren't on the stage today. 2020 2020 is, we're very optimistic about 2020, 2021. We just launched Edge. We have Flora coming out, and Celebrity Flora going to the Galapagos soon, and Celebrity Apex is also seeing a lot of interest and a lot of demand that we're very grateful for. So like Andy, that's about all we can say, but things are looking good.
Good.
Thank you.
Good. Roberto.
Good afternoon, everybody. Again, for MSC also, it's been a wonderful wave season, so thank you to all of you for supporting MSC, and in particular, 2019 is a very busy year for us. We just inaugurated one of our newest ships, MSC Bellissima. Before the end of the year, we'll be inaugurating a second ship, MSC Grandiosa, and in November, we're also opening our private island just 65 miles west of Miami, Ocean Key Marine Reserve. So it's going to be a very busy year, lots of growth, and we continue to count with your support. Thank you.
And last, Christine.
So hello, everyone. It's great to be back here. And again, a big thank you to the crowd. We, like you hear from all of my colleagues, we have a lot going on. We've got our new Carnival Panorama that is going to be delivered in December to the West Coast. And we also announced opening our inventory at the end of January for Carnival Mardi Gras, which will have the first roller coaster on a cruise ship. So we're very excited. And as you can imagine, all that goes along with other features that we're announcing. We were just with Emeril Lagasse in New York over Mardi Gras to announce his first restaurant at sea will be with Carnival on Mardi Gras. But I have to say, probably the most exciting thing for us that I want to share is where is Adolfo Perez and our team have launched a new initiative. And since I'm from Philadelphia, I like to say WADA, which is really why use a travel advisor, a consumer campaign where we really want to provide all of you with great content that you can use for your customers to remind everyone the value and importance of using a travel advisor. And with all of these brands sitting here and all of the new ships that are coming, we believe it's more important than ever that we support you and give you all the tools that you need to continue to grow your business. So thank you for all of your support so far. Thank you.
Love to hear that, being on the travel advisor side of the business. But let's talk about what have you seen with experiential travel? From a travel agency side, we've seen an increased demand for more experiences, deeper level, connecting with the local community, really experiencing the community. So how are you observing that among your guests, and what is your company doing to meet these trends? So let's start with Lisa on this one.
Thank you, Becky. Yes, I think we all have seen all of the trends that are dictating how guests want to experience the world. For Celebrity especially, because we're a global brand, we sail 7 continents, over 300 ports, and we have a very international mix of guests. It's even more important that we continue to push the envelope and think of ways that enable our guests to have a deeper experience in all of the destinations that we visit. And we have spent a lot of time and energy with our team that does our land destinations to think about how our our land tours get smaller. So we either have private journeys which are completely private, discovery journeys, which are no more than 24 guests so that you can really get deep into the destination. And then, of course, we also have the regular excursions, which a lot of our guests still want to participate in. But what we're learning and seeing more and more is people do want that choice, yes, and they want to go deeper. And we're now looking at even how we can do that in a better way. And as a brand, we continue to think about, you go from luxury, we're in the modern luxury category, from ownership to experiences, to now seeing that people care about what those experiences help you become, like how they change you. And I think we have such a great opportunity, not only as an industry, but certainly as a brand, to ensure that our guests come home more enriched than when they started their trip in a deeper way.
Absolutely. Great. Roberto.
Well, for us also, we're an international company, so the guests that come to MSC come looking for new experiences, and we're trying to provide that with new destinations like our island, where we are recreating nature, so it's going to be an authentic Bahamian experience, a full day at the beach, just relaxing, just contacting with nature, and being so close to Miami will allow us to stay until midnight, so guests will be able to experience the beach also during the night. Also, we are having extended stays in some other destinations, like in Havana, we have an overnight stay where people can interact with the local culture, can try the local food, have a local experience, and also on board. Because being international, we source from more than 170 countries. So when guests come to an MSC ship, they will find guests from other nationalities, and they will be able to have that experience shared. This is particularly important for families with kids, that they enjoy that their kids have the opportunity to make new friends from other cultures and learn other languages, try food from different places of the world. So getting to know something, getting enriched by a cruise is something that our guests are always asking for.
Great, great. Okay, let's talk about partnerships, because in the cruise industry, they've become huge. Whether it's with a celebrity restaurateur, a name of a brand retailer, or other known company, tying it to a shipboard program. What do you see as the value of these partnerships, and are they attracting new customers? So Christine, you mentioned something already that you announced, so you want to elaborate on that and how these partnerships are for Carnival.
So I think what we've all talked about and recognized with so many different cruise brands is that each brand really does have a distinct value proposition that you offer to consumers. And for us, I think the partnerships that we work on really are a way for us to reflect our brand and what the brand means. So obviously last year we announced a new chief fun officer, a tall friend of mine named Shaq O'Neal.
Oh, yes.
So, you know, people see Shaq and they smile. So as we launched our new brand campaign, which was Choose Fun, you think about Shaq as somebody that really embodies fun, and that's really what we lean into at Carnival Cruise Line. It is about that experience. It's great for families, and we think that that partnership, if you think about Guy Fieri with our Guy's Burger joint and now the Pig and Anchor Barbecue joint, or a guy like Emerald, all of these people just reflect what we see as the authentic nature of our brand and the experience that they're going to have on the ship.
Great, great. Andy, what's going on with these relationships at NCL?
Yeah, I would echo what Christine had to say, that we try to use partnerships to tell the story of the brand. And so we've had some interesting ones that have worked very well. We have Margaritaville on quite a number of our ships, which has been incredibly popular, way beyond our imagination as we first launched that on board. So that's what a dining partnership. We have one in wine with Michael Mondavi. And I really encourage you to think about how you can use these partnerships to drive demand for your businesses. Is there a wine opportunity in your local area where you can put together a group of folks interested in wine and bring them on board a cruise to celebrate their collective interest in wine? We also, and this is no day should start without Starbucks. We've announced we have Starbucks across our fleet now. And I can now cruise, so that's great.
Yeah.
So that's a positive. And then an interesting partnership that we've had is with our most recent godparent, Elvis Duran, and the morning show. And any of you listened to that show, it's syndicated across the country in about 80 markets, about 8 million listeners every morning. And he and his team were godparents to Norwegian Bliss, which was a great success, but we've recently launched a program to recognize teachers. We often think teachers are underappreciated, so we decided to give 15 cruises away to teachers based on stories that people... based on stories that people told us about teachers, and we expected there to be interest, but it's been incredible. Almost 50,000 teachers have been nominated.
Wow.
Wow.
We've had 1.4 million votes for teachers so far. We started with 15 cruises, so we've obviously doubled it to 30 cruises. We started with $15,000 of funding for a school, we've taken it up to $100,000 of funding for schools. So it's that for us, it tells you how strongly people feel about teachers, but B, it's an opportunity for you to think about when cruise lines, and we all do things like this, when we do things like this, how do you jump on board and celebrate something like teachers, but also bring the connection to how do we celebrate education and travel and do something that brings people out to sail. So I would encourage you to look at the partnerships that are out there and figure out how you can connect that to your business, drive demand through the creative partnerships that the industry is putting together. It's a huge opportunity.
Yeah, great. Lisa, I think you have an announcement you would like to make.
Yeah, thank you, Becky. We recently made an announcement. A couple of things I'd like to say about partnerships. One is that I completely agree with what both Christine and Andy said. It really is a way to reinforce what your brand proposition and your brand position is. I think the partnerships that we just announced are separate probably from the partnership that we're most proud of, which is the partnership with Malala Yousafzai and the Malala Fund, and having Malala be the godmother for Celebrity Edge, and just our commitment to help educate, provide a safe and secure education for 130 million girls around the world who don't have access to that. And that's sort of the things that we care about and that we do, that our partnership represents, and that also talks a lot about what celebrity, who we are. But then we also just announced 2 great experience partnerships, one with American Ballet Theater, which will now, first time ever, ballet with one of the most renowned ballet companies in the world, performing on our ships. We're starting on the ships that have just gone through or are just going through the Celebrity Revolution and the huge modernization program we're doing. And another partnership that just started with that is Danielle Ballou. And because we are the culinary brand, it's been a long time since we've even considered partnering with someone in the culinary space, but he's probably the most well-respected and godfather of the culinary world. And he also happens to be a very good friend of our head of culinary, who's also a Michelin star chef himself. So he is now working with us on many of our menus throughout our fleet. So partnerships are important. I think it talks more about how the guest experience is delivered versus why people actually book a cruise, but it certainly does result in future business, and it certainly does validate your brand positioning in a powerful way.
Great, great. Okay, our next question. What trends are you seeing on the itinerary planning front and deployment? Can you comment on anything you're taking into consideration when it comes to over-tourism, or anything about different ports that you're looking at? And what is your company doing to address this? So I'm going to put this out to Tom Mcalpin at Virgin.
So at Virgin, we are listen to our sailors. We call our passengers sailors. We listen to them all the time. And one of the things that they told us early on was that, first of all, they were concerned with the increased size of ships. So we purposely made a decision to convert to 3 ships. We call them mid-size ships. They're 2,750 passengers. We can provide a bit more of an intimate experience there. And that also allows us to do some different things with itineraries. We'll be going to Cuba next year. We're very excited about going to Havana. I was there yesterday. And we will be the largest ship to go to Havana, but we'll be the newest ship as well. It also gives us an opportunity to go to places like Bimini, which is a small island where you get to have that intimate feel and explore the beaches. They also told us that they wanted a shorter type experience. We think that we're going to bring a lot of new passengers into the industry, and they wanted a shorter cruise that they could test the waters, they trust Virgin, and then be able to expand onto something else. So we're going to be doing a series of 4-night voyages on our first ship. They told us that they want more intimate experiences. They want to be able to immerse with the locals. They wanted to feel the culture. So we've committed that on each of our itineraries, we will either have a late stay or an overnight stay. One of the other things they told us is they wanted something unique, something special about the destination. So There are a lot of great private islands out there in the industry, and they're beautiful. We're doing something a little bit different where we're going to Bimini and we're letting them enjoy all the water sports that Bimini has to offer, but we're providing them a curated Virgin Voyages beach club at Bimini so that they can enjoy kind of an oasis, a getaway, but in a fun, hip, cool, exciting way and a curated experience. We'll bring in resident DJs like Mark Ronson who will be at Bimini throughout the year. So we're very excited about creating those different types of experiences.
Great, great. That's great news. Roberto, what are you doing with it?
In terms of itinerary, of course, our guests are always asking for new destinations, which is not always easy to find. We are excited to go to Havana too. We are excited about our private island. That's going to be a destination in all 4 ships sailing out of Miami. And as I said, it's going to be a destination that we're going to stay until midnight. The ship is going to dock, so the interaction between the ship and the island is going to be seamless. But our guests are also asking to have more experience in the destination. So the usual destination, or the destinations that we all go frequently, to see them in a different way. And this goes back to the experience that we were talking at the beginning, to find new things to do in the existing destination. And that also addresses the overcrowding that you were mentioning. No one goes to go to an overcrowded place. So when we plan our itineraries, we make sure that we plan to stagger our short excursions. We, of course, pre-book in advance the tickets to the most looked-after sites in that destination, so our guests can go and enjoy them quickly without wait. Being in a more involved experience is what our guests are asking for.
Great, great. And Tom, Crystal.
Well, I think that a lot of what we're seeing echoes what some people here already have said, but there is very clearly in the luxury cruise market a trend that you're seeing of later departures of ports of call or overnights. The amount of overnights is really going up rapidly, and so are late departures out of key ports. And we are doing the same at Crystal. You will see that in the future itineraries that are coming out and the itineraries that are out now. But we are also starting to couple them to highly demanded key signature events. If you do an overnight in Monte Carlo, then make sure you do an overnight in Monte Carlo when the F1 is there and that you offer access to that event. We're doing the same for the Tattoo in Edinburgh and a number of other key signature events. And that goes with what our passengers are telling us, what the luxury travelers are telling us. They want exclusive experiences and they want easy access to those experiences. And that's where the last part of your question, the overcrowding part, comes in. The luxury passenger does not have a whole lot of patience anymore for standing in lines, for shoveling through destinations shoulder by shoulder. They want to see it at their leisure, at their choice, and they want to see things, as some others said, that are exclusive, that people haven't seen before. And late night stays, overnights, are a perfect tool to do that, because you can develop a whole new product that is at night when the destinations are a little calmer, when you can do more. I think other things that you could do to combat overcrowding, especially in the luxury business, is to maintain a smaller size ship. Don't go build bigger ships. Don't get swept up in that, because it opens you up to a much larger itinerary choice than you had before. And again, combine it with experiences that are absolutely unique.
Great, great. Okay, our next question. There always seems to be new technology developments happening that are designed to enhance the guest experience. What are some of the enhancements that your brand has made that are proving most impactful in a positive way? So Lisa, we'll start with you on that one.
Sure, great, thanks Becky. Well, I want to start with how technology improves the guest experience before the first guest experience, which is now how we're designing our ships. And you know, we talked a lot about designing Celebrity Edge as the first ship completely through 3D technology, whether it was immersive caves where you could actually walk around a public space and know how the guests were going to feel in the space that our guests were going to have, whether it was one-to-one full-scale mock-ups and that we also did for Celebrity Edge, and it was also through a lot of other different technology that we designed the ship, which helps the guest experience because you are designing and finding opportunities within spaces where you otherwise might have made a mistake before the guest gets on. So that was really beneficial. And then, of course, with Celebrity Edge, you know, Mayor Bogan was out here and he was talking about Port Everglades, and every Celebrity ship sails out of Port Everglades for our winter season. And we were so grateful that Broward County unanimously approved the complete rebuilding of Terminal 25 for us, and it enabled a lot of technology that really created minimal intrusion for the guest. And it was the first terminal in Port Everglades to introduce facial recognition, not only for when you got on the ship, but also when our guests left the ship, and it made a huge difference in their experience. And then, of course, on board we have the new app, which is, you know, it was so funny when we launched Celebrity Edge, there was skepticism within our digital team about how many celebrity guests would actually download the app. 90% of the guests on Celebrity Edge have downloaded the app. It's got a 4.7 score, you know, in the Apple Store for our app. And we were the first cruise ship to introduce stateroom automation, and our guests love it and they're engaged with it. But we're also very careful to ensure that it's not intrusive. It's only enabling, and it really takes out any pain point that the guests might have, and also creates and replicates more of the experience that they have on home on board a ship, including, you know, Wi-Fi that is light years faster than any other Wi-Fi that we've had. So we're very focused on technology, but we're also very careful that it enables and enhances versus intrudes on the guest experience.
That's great. Any of our other panelists?
I agree with Lisa. I think the important thing with technology is to put it at the service of the guest, and to make either to allow them to have a new experience or to make the existing experience easier, not to make things complex and not to be intrusive, as Lisa said. 2 years ago with MSC Meraviglia, we introduced MSC For Me that allows guests to interact with the ship in a number of ways, like finding where their kids are, or making reservation for a specialty restaurant. And now in our newest ship, MSC Bellissima, we introduced a personal assistant, Zoe, that works like Alexa or Google, that you can talk in your cabin and ask the software to do things for you, like booking, again, a specialty restaurant, a short excursion, asking how your onboard account is doing. All of that in 7 languages, because this being MSC, we need to do that in 7 different languages. So it's been an exciting project, and we're very proud that most of our guests are using it and are enjoying that.
Can I just add one thing, Becky? I think the one point I would like to make is Terminal 25 for Celebrity Edge was the first terminal designed where the crew would have as good a guest experience as our guests. Wow. Because for years I have been going up to ships on turnaround day and seeing how the crew has to wait outside in the heat, in the rain, until customs officers go and clear them on and off the ship. And when we had the opportunity to build a new terminal, we were completely committed to changing that experience for our crew. And then the other thing that we're doing in terms of advanced information, advanced training, and advanced technology to make their lives much easier before they ever show up, either to work for our brand for the first time, or our company for the first time, or even coming back on a contract. They are now getting as big an investment, or a very large investment, maybe not quite as big, as all of the other technology in our company to ensure that their experience is seamless. Great. And we change the archaic nature that we've been working with our crew for so many years.
Great.
So if I could add, for Carnival, I think we've had an app, I guess since 2015, we've had about nearly 5 million people downloading. So I think what we're all seeing is people want enabling technology. You know, there was a time when we all remember people wanted to go on a cruise because nobody could get in touch with them and they could disconnect. Now we know that it really is just an
that was
extension,
15 years
right?
ago. We
Probably
should have said
15
that
years
about
ago.
15 years ago.
One of the things we've recently done with our app is now made it available before people ever get to the ship. Because one of the fun things, as you all know, about planning a vacation is the planning, is the anticipation. With so many different things to do on board a ship, I think that people are really engaging up front, and then that also helps with the things that we've talked about in terms of embarkation. We're all working now with CBP on facial recognition as a way to streamline the process of getting on and off the ships. And so I think we'll continue to see investments in technology to enable not just the experience on the ship, but before you get to the ship, and eventually, I think, after your cruise is over.
Exactly.
Because there's lots of memories, lots of things that we can come back and remind you of this great experience.
Right.
And as Lisa said, I think we're also looking at the crew, because the crew really is what's delivering, in many ways, the vacation experience. And so I think that's a big part of looking at technology holistically through what is the guest experiencing. And I know we're going to talk in a minute about how we're investing in our travel agent partners with technology to make it better and easier for you to book cruising.
Yep. Anyone else want to talk about technology? Okay, let's then talk about travel agency technology. What are you doing to make it easier to work with the travel advisor? Tom?
Well, we actually, as a lot of you will know, we have invested a lot in our systems over the last 18 months or so, and have really jumped from the 90s into the 2000s. And I think the biggest accomplishments is our Travel Partners Resource Center, where we brought all the tools that we've been rolling out over the last 18 months, whether that's Salesforce or Cruise Builder or Seaware. We've brought it all in one place to make it easier, accessible for all the travel advisors, for all our partners out there. And there's a reason behind that. What we really are trying to do is to make all of you better ambassadors for the Crystal brand experiences, the growing portfolio of brand experiences, but also to make Crystal an easier partner to do business with. It's a long journey, and we are well down it, but it is all about, just as for the guest, it is making things simpler, easier, and more accessible, and that is what we're trying to do, and that's where we invest our money in.
Great. Tom, Virgin, I know you're doing a lot.
Yes, I tell you that our travel partners are really important to our success, so important that we call them first mates, because they're like the captain's right hand is the first mate. So we have invested the same amount of time, effort, and dollars into firstmates.com as we have into virginvoyages.com, providing the tools that you will all need to help sell, to provide the materials to your clients, to provide a resource and a learning platform. We call it Seasiety, and you can go in there only for registered agents, registered first mates, I should say. So if you haven't registered, I encourage you to do that. But in Seaside, it's a closed group in Facebook where you can learn more. You can learn in kind of a unique way. It's not your traditional university type of a learning platform. It's fun, it's exciting. You get to collaborate with other first mates. We also have what we call CQ, which is a way that we measure first mate engagement, to be able to determine how much you're selling, how much you're using our resources, and a tool to see how can we reach out to you and provide better tools and better experiences. We will use that in a way to recognize folks, to reward them, and to invite them to certain special events like the one that we had last night. We also think that Wi-Fi and technology is we call it basic human right, and which is why we are sponsoring Wi-Fi here at the conference. So for those of you who aren't listening and doing texts and doing emails, you're welcome.
Andy, yes, please.
Yeah, so I just want to go back to guest experience technology real quick,
Okay,
if you don't
good.
mind, because we're putting a lot of energy into it, but we're being really careful, and I have to be a little contrary. We have a lot of guests that really struggle with it, and who want a more simple path to everything, and they don't want to be forced through an app. So we're trying to do everything such that we give guests a choice. We think this location and proximity technology is really powerful.
Yes.
And that's the band that proximity means you know roughly where they are. Location means you know exactly where they are, which is a little creepy, but it is what it is. But it's really powerful, and we're thinking that it empowers our team a lot to personalize the experience, do things that's invisible to the guest, right? All they've got to do is put the band on, and a bunch of stuff is going to happen that makes their experience better without them having to do anything. So we think there's a way of enhancing the guest experience that doesn't force every guest through a new path that some won't be comfortable with. So we think that's important, and we're making sure we develop everything in a way that gives the tech and the non-tech folks a path that they're comfortable and feel good about. I think Wi-Fi is a right, but one of the things I don't do when I take my kids on a cruise is connect them, because every now and again they look at me. It's like, oh, you can look up. Your neck still works. It's just unbelievable. So it's the one place where I say, hey, kids, it's too expensive. You're not being connected for the next few days. And they talk to me, and by 3 days in, they're civilized human beings again. We can have whole conversations, and so we're trying to find a balance that doesn't force everyone through the same path, that says you've got to have your head down in an app for 7 days on your cruise. And so I think it's important we find that balance as well, and it's not, that one size fits all and everyone's going to be app crazy by the end of the cruise. On the travel agents technology side, and now I come to you with a plea, Camille and Jason are investing a huge amount of time in NorwegianCentral.com. And it's just an unbelievable tool. And everyone here has people doing the same things that Camille or Jason are doing to develop tools that make the opportunity for you to put our product in front of your guests. You can do it more effectively, more efficiently. We've got chat now. You can go to NorwegianCentral.com and you can chat. You've got a question, you can just chat and get a real quick answer to a question about the product, a promotion, something that's going on. Please use it. Otherwise, Jason is just going to go home, which is not a good thing. We need him. It's great technology. There's unbelievable images there. There's ads, there's flyers. Anything you can think of to market our experience is there on NorwegianCentral.com. But if you don't use it, we're all wasting each other's time. So please, use our tool. If you have to, use their tools. They're not as good, but hey-ho.
Catching up.
Becky, if I could.
Yes, go ahead, Tom.
I think people are out there saying, how come Virgin's not talking about technology on board? I'm biting my tongue because we're not quite ready yet, because we have a big reveal later this year, but rest assured, our ships will be, if not the most technologically advanced, certainly among the best and the smartest ships that are out there. So be patient, stay tight, you'll hear more about that later this year.
That's great. Okay, we just have time for a couple more questions, so quickly, I'm actually going to rephrase this question from what I sent, because yesterday I spent time at the CLIA Premier Summit, and this was a big topic about the environment. And I think what I learned from that is you're all doing a lot to protect the environment. So how do we work with CLIA and our travel advisor community to get in front of this message out to the consumer? So, anybody, Christine?
I think it's a little bit like talking about technology 10 years ago and the conversation now. I think the environmental conversation is just doing the right thing, and we are all moving as quickly as we can to make sure we do the right thing. We run big ships that are quite complicated, trying to find materials that we can replace, that we know are more environmentally friendly. We are very excited that our Carnival Mardi Gras ship will be the first LNG powered ship in North America. Our sister brand, AIDA, just delivered the first LNG ship in Germany, in Europe. And so I think all of us are very aware and understanding that it is about doing the right thing, ensuring that we are minimizing our footprint, and also getting the guests better informed about the behaviors that they have while they're on vacation, while they're on our ships, while they're in the destination. So that is a much bigger part of the message and communication. And I think people really are embracing this as we must do this. It's an imperative, and it's not really just a, something to talk about.
I agree with you 100%, and I think we should be beating our chest.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be hiding behind this. We should be beating our chest on this topic as an industry, whether it's wastewater treatment systems or exhaust gas cleaning systems, recycling, making the ships more efficient, giving the ability for ships to plug in where ports are available for us to do that. You go to the I can't think of the name, the rubbish room. What's it called? The incinerator, the area where all the waste goes.
The recycling center.
Thank you.
Recycling
Oh my
center.
God, brain
Much
dead.
better.
Shouldn't have gone out last night. It's unbelievable. You walk in there, you don't smell a thing. You could eat off the floor. You see a glass crusher. You see the cans getting crushed. You see everything going to a different place to be recycled. We should be proud, and you should be proud of the industry that you're supporting, and not feel shy at all. We have an environmental Bible, and I think all of us do that. Tells a story of everything we're doing. We can get a copy of that to you. It's online actually. You have to go get it online. And it tells you the whole story, and we should be proud.
I think it's an important.
Go ahead.
I think it's a really important topic for the industry. I think the industry is doing a lot of great things together. For us, it's part of our DNA. I mean, our leader, Richard Branson, lives on an island in the middle of the Caribbean, so he lives and breathes this. He's created Ocean Elders. It's part of our brand strategy, which is to create an epic sea change for all. And one of the pillars in that is to create an epic sea change for the ocean. So I agree with everything we're doing in the industry. I think the individual players need to continue to do more as they are. We launched a deal with Climon where we're taking the exhaust heat and a different way to create clean energy. We're partnering with Scanship to look at new technology of actually using that waste and creating energy from it. We have, as some of the others, put a ban on one-use plastics in guest-facing areas, so no plastic water bottles, no stirrers, no straws, and it's making a big impact. And I think what we have the benefit of starting from scratch and saying, okay, how can we just overall reduce disposables overall? And when we did it, it's a little more expensive. You're investing in it, but we've reduced a lot of that waste out there. So it's a big part of our strategy, and I think this is where this industry holds hands together and says and does the right thing.
This is where we partner with Cruise360 to get this message out.
And I think that's a really good point. One of the things I was going to say is that's one area where CLIA really, as an industry, we're united in what we're doing, and we're all doing great things. And you know, I want to go to Andy's point and then Tom's point, but Andy's point was those rooms where everything happens. The reality is nothing leaves a cruise ship. And I don't think people realize that. And so Celebrity Edge was the first ship to be launched, and we are going to do that now on all the ships as they go through the revolution, with a 90% reduction in all guest-facing single-use plastics. There are no water bottles, no plastic water bottles. They're either aluminum or Evian glass. We have no single-use amenities. We have no little condiments. We have yogurt. Even the yogurt is not in a plastic container. And I can't tell you how many guests have reacted really positively to that. The reality is we don't contribute to what's happening in the environment, but the other reality is by not purchasing those, we contribute to the reduction of the production of them. And when you read about those poor little whales, you know, you realize it's a big opportunity and problem. But we really are doing great things, and we probably do, as Andy said, need to pound our chests a little more.
Right. Okay, our final question, because we have this wonderful audience of travel advisors who have been dedicated to come here and get training and learn more about our industry. In one sentence, please share your company's view towards travel advisors. So Christine, I'm going to start with you on this one.
I'll keep it very short and sweet, and I think we've got a tattoo to prove it over there. Travel agents rock. Thank you all so much for your support.
Okay, Roberto.
Travel advisors are essential to our growth strategy. We rely on you because we don't have the same brand recognition in North America that the other cruise lines do. That's why we encourage you to experience our ship so you can give the proper advice to your client. Thank you.
Lisa, your one's.
I think our reputation speaks for itself. I started as a travel advisor. Every decision we make on our brand and in our company is all with travel advisors in mind, and we appreciate you more than you know.
Tom.
First mates are huge to our success. You're our right hand. We have developed a brand new, completely revolutionized sales strategy around that and commission structure. We pay commission on everything you sell, and we say, NCF's non-commissionable fares, NFW.
And we won't say what that stands for. Okay, Andy.
It's 2 words, partners first.
Oh, great, thank you. And Tom, lastly with Crystal.
Well, I think that for 29 years, Crystal has made travel advisors part of the Crystal family, and together we're creating lifelong relationships that are a win-win for our guests, for the trade, and for Crystal. And I thank you all for that very much.
Great, great. Well, thank you. Okay, so this ends our panel, and I can't thank you all enough for spending your time with us. And thank you again to each and every travel advisor out there. I couldn't be more proud to represent you, and have a wonderful CLIA 360. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.